on the podcast. You have to swing it all right now. All right, and we are. Let's see if we went live. I always double check, especially with sound. Did it go?
Let me know.
Let's see. 15 seconds in. I think we're good. Yeah, we are. Sweet. Cool. So sometimes when I do the live, oh my god, we got 11 people like immediately in here. What's up, y'all? Like sometimes I'll start the live and my audio will be fucked up. Something will be wrong with the Wi-Fi, and it'll just cut in and out and it's really, really, really bad audio. So if that happens, let me know. If it's like choppy for a very extended period of time, then I'll figure something else out. But hopefully that doesn't happen. But anyways, what's up, everybody? I usually like have the other person's camera off when we start, but me and River homies, so we're just gonna start it off now. We appreciate you guys all being here. Welcome to the Joyage Kingdom. We have episode 59, I think, of the Joyage Kingdom podcast. We have Riv, founder of the Fairy Fiends, or co-founder of the Fairy Fiends NFT project, and the artist behind this art, which is fucking sick, by the way. And it's weird because when I first found out about your TikTok account, I didn't know you were also the artist for a little bit. I just saw you making all the content, and then when I found out you actually drew all these things, I was like, wow, that's actually awesome.
Thank you. I was like, yeah. I'm just excited to be here. You do so much. Your audience is always like, I'm always looking forward to your next video. Your YouTubes are out. Like, you're on TikTok. I watch your TikToks more, I do have to say, because
yeah, I love making TikToks. It's so much fun. It's so much fun. And I watch yours because you're quick on the trends too. You're quick on the trends and you're quick on the news. So I get half my news from you and I get half the trends from you too.
No way. I feel like it's the other way around. We have to take it from each other. Like, we gotta help each other out because we both deliver it differently. I remember seeing like you dropping your own NFT, like a TikTok on that. I was like, that is so creative how you like portrayed that.
Yeah. No, I love it. Riv 2024 said. Fuck yeah, I love it.
Oh my God.
Love it. Thank you, everybody. If you're in the chat, hey, Ray's in the house. Guys, if you're in the chat right now, go ahead and click that like button. Lock that like button in. I heard it's good luck. I heard you maybe get better luck in the whitelist giveaway that's happening at some point in this stream. We will be doing it. I believe there's 5 that we're giving away, and it'll be fun. I'm really excited for that giveaway. It's going to be really exciting. We're going to get the community involved in it. It's going to be dope. So yeah, subscribe to the channel, join the kingdom, like the video, follow us on Twitter. I have her stuff in the description below. And yeah, we're just going to get started. So we're going to talk about NFTs, we're going to talk about life. If you guys have any questions, drop them in the chat because I can literally pull them up. I'm pulling them up as we go. There's a lot of comments. This is the most comments I've ever had at once, so I'm going to probably not be able to do all of them like I usually do. But anyways, how you doing?
Someone said, hi, Mom, and I'm like...
Oh my God, this is hilarious.
That. It's funny. I'm like 21, but I'm like, I'll respond to that.
That's so funny. Well, you're killing it on TikTok. So originally I found you from NFT Nate. He made a video on it and he was like, oh, this girl made an NFT project. Twitter made it their PFP, which we're gonna pull this up right now. This is actually pretty crazy. So you guys might think, oh, this is some 24-year-old girl. Yo, this is their number 0 Fairy Fiend, and it's owned by Twitter. The real Twitter. This is not a joke. Twitter made this their PFP on their actual Twitter account, which is insane. So I know I've already asked this on the TikTok live that we did a couple weeks ago. But what was that like when TikTok or when Twitter did that? Was that ridiculous? Were you like sitting there like in the middle of breakfast eating a sandwich and you were like,
yeah. I think me and Ray, we both like we've been living off like every time we see each other, like he's eating cereal, I'm eating like a raw tortilla. So I'm pretty sure I was eating a raw tortilla like when that was happening, and we saw the tweet he saw the tweet. He was like, oh, you should draw this fairy for them, and we were like sub 300 people in the Discord. It was like a really small community. Everyone was primarily from TikTok. Excuse me. Everyone was primarily from TikTok, and we put it out, and we never like expected anything. We were like, oh, this is good for marketing, like getting our word out there. And then they DM'd us like I think 3 or 4 hours later, or the day after. I'm not sure. Either way, they DM'd us, and I just remember dropping because I thought it was a scam. Like I dropped my phone. Pretty sure that's why my phone's like broken right now.
Oh my God, I remember seeing it. Yeah, this shit's shattered.
But yeah, it's awesome. They like reached out to us. They were like, I think a really good indicator of why they reached out was because we reached out to them on TikTok and Twitter. And I think they saw the video on TikTok of us like drawing the fairy, and they were like, oh, we saw your video content and we saw your Twitter post. We're reaching out because we want to put an offer on it. And
man, wow, that is fucking insane. I have a similar thing. Mine's Mine's nowhere near as cool, but like, I mean, no. Respect to Fidel. He's one of the biggest photographers in this space. But he picked up my NFT way back in the summer. And mine's just art. It's not like there's not 10,000. There's like 20.
Yeah.
But he bought my NFT. He tweeted about it, and I had that same feeling. I'm fucking driving. I'm door dashing. I've got a pizza box next to me that I'm delivering, and then in my DoorDash bag with my little insulated bag, it's like a cookies and cream or something like that. And I'm in the middle of doing this double order, and I'm like, I'm about to get this $22, fam. Let's go. And I just get a ping, and then I'm like, oh shit, one of them sold like $100. Let's go. And then it's like ping, and then I'm like, oh shit, two sold. That's pretty wild. There's like ping, and I was like, what's happening? Ping, 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 and it was like 20 in a row. And I was like, oh, my hand's shaking, and I'm like, fuck, I gotta deliver this pizza. And so I like sped and like deliver all this shit, and then just like pulled over literally in the neighborhood. I was living in my car at that point, still traveling. Yeah. And I just pulled over the side of the neighborhood, and I just went on my phone, and it was literally over at that point. Because at that point I said, okay, I'm too deep in. I just made some money. I got to figure this NFT world out. For you, when did you get started in crypto and NFTs, and how long after were you like, I'm dropping a collection?
Yeah, I think that's awesome. By the way, congratulations. I was gonna say, wait, I have the Celsius too.
Hold on. Let's hold this up so I can screenshot this, because I'm trying to get a sponsorship by Celsius. I'm not kidding.
If you can, I'm sorry. I got distracted.
All right, Celsius, if you're watching this, I've called you out multiple times. We deserve a full-time podcast or a full-time sponsorship of the channel. You guys won't regret it. We're going into the metaverse together.
I forgot your question. I'm so sorry.
I was just talking about, so when you first got into crypto and NFTs, and then how you got into it, and then at what point were you like, I'm dropping a collection, I can draw this shit, I'm better than most of these guys anyway?
No, I think so I got into, I wasn't too sure on crypto. I got into NFTs actually before I really learned much about crypto, and this all happened. Yeah, I heard about like NFTs like because I've done like art growing up. I heard about them along before, and then I was like still graduated from college, didn't really know what I wanted to do with my life. I was like, I have a job, I'm not looking for a job. Heard about NFTs and was like, oh, this is really cool. First project I bought, a complete rug. They have like no social media profiles right now.
No.
And I think I was also like, I was my first year out of college. I wasn't making like a crazy amount of money or anything like that. So I dropped like, it wasn't like a large amount to people who are into NFTs, I guess, but like it was $400, and $400 was a lot for me personally. Yeah, like
that's a lot of money. $400? Are you kidding me? That's a lot of money.
Yeah, I was like, that's a lot of money for me. And I realized, I was like, you know what? It's not a viable option for me to like buy and like sell NFTs, but I like creating. I've always wanted to create. And I think I started off in the beginning being like, okay, I want to be able to teach people about NFTs. So like the thing that happened to me doesn't happen to anyone else. Cause after that, like whatever, after I lost $400, I spent like weeks researching it. Yeah. And then I first decided I wanted to be like a one-of-one artist. And then I was telling Ray about my idea about being like a one-of-one artist. And he was like, wait, but you can code. I can code. Like, I can code the smart contract. You know how to code. We should do like a generative collection. And I was like, you know what? Okay, I'm all in. And I think at first we started off very like light-hearted. We had like a vision, but it was still like, okay, we're doing this here. Like, okay, this is awesome. Like, he was still in school and college, and I was still working like full time. And I think every single day it solidified our vision more and more till the point where we're here now and we see like the 5-year, 10-year plan.
Ooh, I love the sound of that. Hell yeah. And most people probably didn't know that you fucking know how to code. That's a very hard thing to do. I just got off I just did a call with a couple of guys from Wall Street Fam NFT, and one of the guys is a dev, and they both have a background in computer science. One of them did like a full master's program in computer science. For anyone who's ever done computer science, that is a very, very, very hard major. No, some people just got it. But it's hard. It's not one of those easy classes you can just waltz your way through. I waltzed through college, but I did not waltz through computer science. I took a straight up D in that class. It was hard.
It was hard. And honestly, I think what I learned is a college degree. The degree is much, much harder than any type of work you're going to get out of college for coding. Yeah. That degree, I don't know why they make it like that.
It's brutal. Yeah. The computer science curriculum is difficult. And the way my college did it was terrible. I didn't like learn how to code really. I didn't really learn anything. I was just kind of like out here, and I don't know. It was kind of badly run, low key. But having that background is really important because you at least understand what's going. You guys don't have like a 45-person team. I believe it's just you and Ray right now, right?
Yes, as of now, yeah.
Yeah, and so you guys have a little bit more on your plate, but that's just kind of how it's done in the beginning. Like if I did a project too, it'd be me and a couple of people. Like I just don't have the means to hire out 75 people to do all these different things. When honestly, most of the time you can do most of it on your own anyway.
Yeah.
But how much you doing stuff that's not NFTs right now? Anything, or is it pretty much just NFTs?
Pretty much NFTs, and I definitely think like having. I think we're so grateful that we got moderators too. Like, I don't know, like just I feel like there's so many little things like we can't be both awake 24 hours a day. So just getting like more ideas are better than two people's ideas, and just like talking to people like you, Cade, like you just like inspire me on the daily. So like just seeing all of those different people daily, like that definitely helps out. For anything besides NFTs, yeah, I think this is it. I think this is my
yeah. Do you ever get because I have pretty bad anxiety. So I'm better at managing it than I used to be.
Yeah.
But I don't even have 10,000 people in my Discord. Like, and 10,000. You guys have like hold on. Let's see. You guys on Twitter, you guys just passed a pretty big milestone, by the way, for anyone who's watching. Fairy Fiends just blew past 10K, flying past 11,000 followers now on Twitter, killing it in the brain game. I'm excited. I have a review coming for Fairy Fiends soon. I wanted to wait till after our podcast so that people were like expecting it and ready for it. But you guys have been killing it, and there's no surprise you guys are flying here with the amount of brand work you guys have been putting in. But you guys now have thousands of people watching your every second, every single move. You got a ton of people on Twitter, a lot of people on Twitter, and you're making content. Does it get overwhelming? And like, how are you even managing that overwhelming factor when there's no way to stop it? Like, you can get anxious today, but literally tomorrow is the same thing, you know?
Yeah. I am a very anxious person. Like, to be honest, like I'm kind of all over the place, and it might be to do with like the Celsiuses we drink or the caffeine we drink. But
yeah,
I think it took me like a while to realize, and like definitely talking to other creators and people in the Discord and like the community, that you know what, it's okay to like be yourself. Like. And I know everyone says that. And I think the first month I was like, no, I can't say this. I can't say that. Like, no, like this could totally backfire. Like people could like be like, this brand is like blah, blah.
Yeah.
But then I realized like, you know, what we were trying to build, your message conveys more when you're genuine and when you're passionate about what you do. And I think like we were planning to launch like pretty like around this time frame in January. I think in January, and like we were always aiming for this time frame. And then we looked back on the art, we reevaluated, and I was like, you know what? Like, I want this, like the artwork to come from like the bottom of my heart. And I want to give everyone in the community like what means so much to me. So we decided to go in, and I actually redrew, and I'm still in the process of redrawing like the whole collection right now, just so we can give the community like 200% of our effort.
That is a great idea, and plus, it's even better. Like it's like an even slower bird, and now people are like, "Oh, it's even better," and she held it off because she wants to do even more stuff, and that's a good thing to hear. And especially with TikTok, this is the benefit you have of having a massive archive on TikTok. I encourage everyone to go and check all this shit out. I have the link tree down below in the description. If you go to her TikTok, there's a bunch of stuff about Fairy Fiends, a bunch of stuff about running a project, a bunch of stuff that you would never know if you weren't running a project, and then a bunch of stuff about the NFT space in general. And you're sharing your own personal journey doing it. So doing all that, it's like impossible not to get the empathy from everyone in the project because they see who you are. And another project that does a little bit of this, but not nearly as much content, is like World of Women. They also have their founder who comes on and does a little bit of video, very minimal. But when people see that, they just like it. They just gravitate toward it, and you've got such a strong brand from that because you bring value from 14 different areas, and they come in and they feel like they know you. Obviously, like we're in the chat and there's like 700 messages, and everyone's pumped about it. And they were talking about snacks. I don't know where snacks came from and coffee, but
it's like the most recent fairies like holding snacks like toast and hockey. So everyone wants all the fairies to be like have food now. They're just all eating all the time.
Oh my god. Oh my god. That is so funny. So you started on TikTok, you said, "Fuck it, I'm doing NFTs. I want to make this." And that's exactly the same thought process I had, but I've been wanting to be a YouTuber since I was like 10. I've been making videos
Yeah,
since 2010. And so I was like, "All right, well, I'm also going to sell shovels, but I'm going to not instead of making a project, I'm going to do YouTube about projects. I like doing research. I think it's
yeah,
fun. I like knowing stuff, and plus it helps me out. If I know stuff about projects, I can probably trade better." But I had the
yeah.
same idea. I can't flip my way to $1 billion. That's like not a thing. And so we're building in this space. And it's fun. Like we get to meet the coolest people. I'm sure you've met people that I mean, obviously you fucking talk to Twitter, but like there's people that you probably met that you'd never in your life would have been able to meet without this space.
Yeah, definitely. It's just so small right now, and I don't know. We went to NFTLA on the whim. Like we did not get tickets. Like it was like crazy expensive.
Yeah.
Someone was like, "Oh, okay. Like we have some spare tickets. Like if you guys want them," and we went. And I just like it was just like insane. I think Ray met one of his like childhood YouTubers that he's been watching since he was
Oh,
like
hell
12
yeah.
or something. And I was
Let's
like,
go.
how, like, what are the chances you would meet him here?
Yeah, I know, that's wild. You met all the TikToker people. You met
I
all the TikToker people. You met Blockchain Boy. You
was
met
super
Crypto Mason or
embarrassing.
something. Oh,
I gave them these cute stickers. I gave them like sleeping
oh,
beauty.
that is so fucking cute. All right, that is
Like
fucking
when I see
awesome.
you next, I'll
Yes.
shower you.
Let's go. Yeah, I'll order a couple extra Joyage Kingdom shirts and I'll bring them.
Okay, I'm
Yeah.
so down. I'm
Yeah,
so
it's gonna be
down.
great. It's gonna be great. Yeah. So NFTLA, there's probably no one's made content really about it. Here's the wild part: if you're a YouTuber, if you're a content creator in the chat, and you're not about to vlog a little bit at NFT NYC, you're missing out. That's something you should do. And you did a little bit of content. You did some fucking funny content in NFTLA. You were like, oh man, they're so funny. But what did you like most about NFTLA?
I think it was definitely like we got to watch Coleman, Klon, and Ariel, and Mina from Wonder Pals. So like it was the artists of
So cool.
Starcatchers, Cool Cats, Crypto Ray Rays, and Vinny Hager. Like draw live. And I think and it was like an event separate from NFTLA, but it kind of like being there, it made me realize like I forgot, like I think sometimes we forget like there's like of course the NFTs, like there's the flipping, like people are really like into that part as well. But then I forgot, like, I've been into art my whole life, and like seeing those people draw live, and like the event was supposed to go from 3 to 5, and I was like, there's no way like any artist is gonna be able to paint like a mural
Yeah.
like in
No,
2 hours.
murals.
Yeah, and it was true, and I like we saw it. It like went till 6:30, and that's when I realized, I was like, you know what, like there's such a big art culture behind it that sometimes gets overlooked, but like I don't know, I felt so inspired watching each of them like spend so much time on their painting and like really care about what they're putting on the wall, that I was just like,
Yeah.
that was like by far like, and everyone was just hanging out, like no one like everyone was just watching them vibing, like talking about the art, and I was like, this is so cool. I did not hear the words like floor price.
One floor.
I don't
That's so
know.
funny. That's interesting because I did bodybuilding for a long time. For people who are watching who don't know, I used to be a fitness Instagram person, dude, and so that was cringe. And so I ended up deleting all of that. I deleted that entire persona.
You should
But
love
there's
it.
I thought about leaving it because I had lots of followers, and I was like, man, I could just low key delete all these photos and just like start a new one and just have all these followers. But like I don't know, I felt weird about that, so I deleted the account, restarted, which is fine. It's Instagram. Who gives a shit about Instagram anyway? So I started a new account, but I missed out on all the in real life events. They have these, I think they're called expos, fitness expos, and so all the YouTuber people, all the TikTok or not TikTok at that point, Instagram and YouTube people will come out and they'd be all sponsored by Gymshark or Alphalete or whatever, and they all have their booths, and everyone goes and lines up and gets to meet all these people they've been watching for so long. And I never went to one of those. So this is like going to be my first ever in real life thing in New York City. I'm fucking excited. I'm
That's
really excited.
awesome. That's
Yeah.
also Cade, like I don't know, like it was crazy because like I think it was like a few people, but they like came up and they were like fairy fiends, and I was so excited. Like
Oh my
every
god, I
single
bet.
person that did that, I was like, you have just made like my year, month, whatever. That I am just so glad like we are like acknowledged, or like that
Yeah.
people know like it enough to like know the name, and like like
you got recognized in
like
public. That's
I don't know.
wild.
That was crazy. I was just like, I want to know everything about you. Like, how did you get into NFTs? Because it's like none of these projects would be like anything unless like other people gave them value or like had like some sort of interest in it. Like, and I feel like it's always so mindful to be like aware of that. Like,
yeah,
the numbers, like, I don't know, like to me, like they're whatever, because like all of those people care enough like to see your content every day. And like, yeah, I don't know. It's just like, it's like a weird thing. Like, I don't know.
were you at a loss for words at first when they met you? Like, did you not know what to do, or were you just like immediately like, holy shit?
I was like,
run away.
Panicked. I was like ADHD to the max. I think I was like talking like 24 times speed. Yeah, but it was. But that's the kid. We should do a skit together in.
Yeah, no, we are 100% doing a skit together.
Okay.
Yeah, for anyone who hasn't seen it, she did a full on skit where she went all out on the camera in public, and I commented, I was like, I could never in my life do this alone. Like, it was just you and Ray. Ray filmed you, and you fucking did it on your own in the middle of like the street, and I was just like, oh, I would die.
It's amazing. I'm not gonna lie, I'm my own biggest fan, so I look at that video every day and laugh. Like,
oh yeah, no, if I did it, I'd be down after. But in the moment, I don't think I could have done it on my own. Like, if I just had my friend Devin and I was like, hey, film this, there's no way I would have been able to at least give my all. I just would have gotten too awkward. So I'm pumped to do it with you, though. That'll be fun.
Okay, I'm down. It's better with one more person too.
Yeah,
those
probably.
skits are so good. It's like I feel like a really fun part about it is like you can keep it lighthearted. You know, sometimes like there's a lot of serious stuff that goes on in NFTs, but also like, you know what, every space needs a little bit of comedy.
Yeah, definitely. And there was a guy who did it. There was some dude who pulled up and started doing like comedy. He's a big TikToker, I think.
Yeah,
and he started doing all that, and you snuck your way into that TikTok video. Love it.
We watched his video like the first day, and I like immediately recognized him. Like, hey, Money, like, because I was like, no one's ever been doing what he's done.
Yeah,
to be honest, and I was like, I have so much respect for you because you were so brave, like to be able to just like say all, like, they're all jokes, humorous, but I was like, everyone's too scared to even say those jokes, and he executed it so well. I was like, I'm in there.
Yeah, it was baller. There's a level of respect that when they go against the grain and they do that either no one's doing yet, or that it's just totally opposite of the flow that everyone else is doing. Yeah. And it's tough in the beginning because you probably don't pick up traction for a little bit, but then if you're offering value, which entertainment is value, and that's why I always tell people I'm not an NFT YouTuber, I'm just a YouTuber. I'm just going to bring the entertainment factor of whatever is going on and make it entertaining. And that's why I can remain relevant, like regardless if we're in a bull run or a bear run, it makes no difference to me.
Yeah.
And for him, it's the same. Dude, he's in here for entertainment. Like any story is now content. Like, it's like those people. Have you seen the reality shows of the guy who will hire out private investigators to follow like a girlfriend who's cheating or a guy who's cheating, and they'll be like sitting there with the camera with the boyfriend, and then like the girl will cheat or the guy will cheat, and they'll be like, "Yo, so how does that make you feel?" And he's sitting there, and like the guy who's like running the show is like, "Fuck yeah, let's go. We got drama," and it's just like, it's so funny, dude.
Those are I always have to question myself if those are like authentic or not. But I watch them.
Anyway. There's no way, but it's so interesting. It's so interesting. Oh man, we got a lot of people we got someone from Colombia. 2 people from Colombia. Let's go.
We have a really strong Colombian community in Fairy, which is really awesome.
So we're gonna do the giveaway in a second. So appreciate everyone being here. I'm not gonna make you guys wait till like an hour in to do it, but let's just like take a look at this website. Very well put together. Did y'all do this? Because this is fire. This website.
Website is all Ray. I did the artwork, but website is all Ray. So
hell yeah.
He's really. It looks so good.
Yeah, I love it.
Let's get
and you guys have some. Get Ray in the chat. Yeah, everyone start chanting Ray in the chat, all caps. But you guys have different factors of fairies. You got some Hydra fairies, some Flora fairies, some different styles. I saw people talking about pyro, so people are already choosing size. It's kind of like Hogwarts style, like picking a house a little bit. And then you guys, so this is your NFT, I guess. It's the one you're rolling with, right?
Yeah.
Oh man, these are cool. That's probably the best part. You get to design yours all the way through. Love it. It's fucking awesome.
And then it's Ray.
I love this. Okay, so before we do the giveaway, this will make sense. I feel like we should do this right before. So give me like the quick I don't know, elevator pitch about like why Fairy Fiends, like what is it about this art piece and this brand that makes you like fall in love with it every day, that like otherwise you wouldn't be putting in this much work to push the
Yeah.
brand, you know? Like what is it? So because that'll kind of segue into this giveaway.
Yeah. I guess like our elevator pitch, like, you know, it's nothing fancy. Like we're Fairy Fiends. Like me and Ray, we work together really well. We work to document our process. We always want to help educate people. And I don't know, I feels like I'm sounding like saying it out of a textbook, but to be honest, like our entire goal is like, it's to have fun, like to provide like utility in the way that we can. And that doesn't include anything like crazy, but stuff that's in our power and in our control. Like, for example, like we have this fun little thing we're going to be doing with animations. We're already doing some of them pre-launch, but like we want to expand on that post-launch. And those are just all things that come together to make NFTs more accessible to people outside of the space right now. Because I think it's really hard to jump into a project like as someone who's like 1 week into maybe NFTs. But if you provide, like, as you were saying, like entertainment, like whether that be through animations or like educational content, I feel like you're providing value to whoever is watching. And, you know, that's our motive with it. Like, let's have fun.
I mean, it's the brand. Yeah, exactly. And you guys are just, hey, what's up, Andre? Andre's in the house, fellow YouTuber. It's when you buy, like I saw someone's tweet, they're like, there's too many people focusing on too many utilities when you forget that the reason people bought CryptoPunks was just to be a punk. Like that's why you bought CryptoPunks, and that's the way I look, and that's the way most people at the beginning got into Bored Ape Yacht Club. Now it's like a money thing, and everyone just wants to get it because it looks cool. But that should be the core of any project. It's like, yo, you're buying this because you want to be a feline or a fairy fiend. I popped up the TikTok where we made TikToks about it.
Really well. They're doing really well.
Yeah, shout out Feline Fiends. I don't know how they're doing it. They're doing like 75 raids a day.
I know, it's
ridiculous.
crazy.
Absolutely ridiculous. But yeah, you buy into it to be a fairy. Like that's why you're doing it. And then whatever you and Ray end up doing, like that's the best utility. And you guys are, it's not like you guys are gonna do the launch and then you just stop making TikToks and then it's just like over. Like Mint is day one, you know, like that's where everything starts. So yeah, I'm pumped about it.
Like, you can't, we're a team of two, like we want to get more team members like post launch, but you know, that comes with other, like that comes with a project as well. And so like for a pre-launch, like I just always say, like, you know, we can't promise anything besides what we have like right now, and we will continue to do it and we will expand on it and grow on it in a way that we're always 200% committed. Because me and Ray are both 21. This is our whole lives right now. Like I want to do this for the rest of my life. Like this has been my dream to be an artist and like do something like this. And I don't know. It's just like, I feel like the dedication and like the willpower for like, I always tell everyone, I'm like, there's no chance of failure. Failure isn't an option. Like maybe success doesn't look the way you want it to look, but like at the end of the day, like you will make your own version of like success.
100%. I think that's a great way to segue into this giveaway. So we have 5 FL spots for everyone who I see FL in the chat every 3 seconds. We are giving 5 away. Here's what you got to do. You got to make sure you've liked and subscribed to this video and channel. So make sure you click the like button, subscribed. Then you don't have to close out of this live. You can stay in this live, no problem. Just come right back after this. Go head on to Twitter. Make sure you're following me and well, I was just going to say your personal account. I guess it makes better sense to do it for the Fairy Fiends.
Yeah.
So you follow the Fairy Fiends and myself. Go on Twitter. Make sure you find your favorite sneak peek. There's like a million of them all over their Twitter. There's a million sneak peeks. Find your fairy out of all the ones that are there. Everyone's commenting FL. No, you have to go on Twitter, find your sneak peek, and then make a tweet about it and just tag us and say, this is my fairy because whatever reason, for whatever reason that you connect with that fairy specifically, make that tweet, tag both of us so that we know. And that's really all you have to do. So make sure you're following us on Twitter and then make the tweet, pick a fairy you love. And we want to see fucking fairies all over Twitter right now. All right. We want to see only fairies on Twitter. That's the only thing we want to see on the timeline. If anyone who's not in this live should be like, what's going on? Why are there fairies everywhere? So that's the vibe. That's what we're doing. That's all you have to do. Just make sure we're tagged so that I actually see them. And we're going to choose 5. I don't know if we'll be able to choose them during this live. We may have to wait till after. But Yeah, that's pretty much it. So we'll be giving 5 of those away. I'm really excited for that. That's like the best thing ever. And yeah, I mean, most people are gonna miss it. It's definitely not gonna be one of those giveaways that lasts like 3 days. It's for people who are in this live. So we appreciate you guys being in here. So thank you. So yeah, just go on Twitter, do that giveaway shit. It's gonna be lit. But anyways, we're just gonna continue the conversation. You guys can pop back in here when you're done. But tell me what what probably the hardest thing is with NFTs that you've noticed so far. Maybe something that you didn't expect.
I think I expected this from the beginning, like the hardest part, and I expected from the beginning, but that doesn't mean it gets like any less harder. Like I think I always try to say this on my TikTok too. Like don't be afraid that you're not growing at like the rate that you need to, because there is no such thing as like needing to grow at that rate. Like you can always slow down as long as you're consistent in your message. And like I think the most important thing to do is like show up every day. Like I don't like, doesn't matter how, whether it be like maybe you're not feeling the best that day, like okay, put out like a tweet like I'm taking off like today, but just showing up consistently. Like I think that is like the biggest thing, and just like getting rid of like the anxiety that like you need to hit certain marks, because you can't project like things like that unless you're taking like shortcuts.
Yeah.
I don't know how, and shortcuts are fine. Like use shortcuts to your advantage. Like I know a lot of people prefer that way, and I know that a lot of like companies and brands are like, okay, like this is the most efficient way to do it. I just think from the place that me and Ray were coming from, it didn't make sense for us to take that path.
Yeah, I agree. There's a lot of different things to think about. And David says, how old are you, Ravada?
21.
So we're all out here. We're taking our fucking destiny in our own hands. It's pretty crazy that there's so many people in their 20s that are launching these projects. And some of these projects are going to be like the cornerstone of NFTs in a few years. Like the interesting thing is, if you launch in 2021 or 2022, you are in the OG of NFTs. And the weirdest thing to think about is it's not like NFTs comes in waves, but NFTs as a concept and a blockchain technology will be here forever. Meaning once you're on the blockchain, like you're cemented forever. Like in 10, 20 years, and people are looking back at the historic NFT projects, we're looped in. Like your project is looped into that. So does that make you like squirm in your seat at all, or are you just like pumped about it?
I think we're always thinking about how we can make NFTs like applicable in real life too. I think that's like always our main thing, like because like kids aren't on their computers every day, and like like a lot of people, they don't want to go through, like a lot of people outside of Web3 don't want to go on Discord all day. But just having a place like where if your brother is into NFTs, or like your like boyfriend or like girlfriend or like dad, mom, whatever, like someone that is into NFTs, that if you are not into NFTs, you can enjoy it with them. And like I think like it doesn't need to be like it's amazing, like it's amazing where it is now, but there's so much more that it could be, that because the Discord only allows like 200,000 people per server. I think like our goal in Web3 is to have this be like applicable everywhere in every part of the world, that everyone knows about it, everyone knows how to use it, and that comes from a bigger place than a 200,000 max cap Discord server. So I think like you need to have like face-to-face interaction, like all these events like NFT NYC or like LA, or like all of these, like even me and you talking face-to-face right now, like there's nothing in my opinion that can like replace that. So like how do you tie NFTs into that? So I think we always keep that in mind. And like, so I can't like say a lot, but like that's always coming from us, like when whatever we try to do and whatever content we put out.
Yeah, and I saw some people commenting like when plushies, when fairy pillow. That's the coolest part, is when you have the right artwork. Not that artwork is the most important thing, but art's pretty fucking important when you're picking it. It is the NFT. So to have something that does work, people were nervous about like invisible friends, because they were like, how are you gonna make a toy of something that's invisible? That doesn't even make sense. And so some people were worried about that. But you guys have the cutest shit ever, and it fits that mold. But it's not there's a lot of cartoon projects. This isn't to knock on anyone's projects or anyone's art. There's a lot of projects that look just like a lot of other projects. You guys do have an A factor, which is a reason that Twitter made them. They wouldn't have picked your project. They would just picked another project. So there's a reason that they picked your project. There's a reason that there's so many people in this chat who want to be a fairy. They want that fairy dust. So you guys have that factor with the art. But I want to swap over and talk about something a little bit different that would maybe give some insight as to the project and you a little bit. What were you like in high school?
And I was like, what was I like personality wise, or like,
yeah, I guess how, like what kind of, like were you like a like school? Were you sports? Were you like doing art stuff? Like what was your thing? Who's your people?
I was a photographer actually. So
oh, hell
yeah. So I used to do a lot of like brand and like clothing photo shoots, and like so that was like because I didn't have time to like draw and do art because of like school, and like I was like, I don't want to spend 8 hours after I go home drawing. So and like photography was like the easy way out for me, and it was really cool. I got to photograph some weddings. I was like, wow, I can make love happen, but like not really because I was 16 and weird. But high school, I don't know. I think I got a lot more serious about my life when going to college, because I realized like I don't want to do like CS like forever. Like I liked coding, and then I think it just became so much for me that I was like, I want to code like for fun. Like I like making like little things and like making little apps, but like I don't know. I was like I don't know if I can code like for 10 more years, but like because there's just so many people who are better at it than I am too.
Yeah.
That I was like, there's someone who's going to enjoy this more than me, and they're going to be able to do it a lot better than me than if I was trying to, even if I try my 100%, like I feel like I would never have the passion for it that someone else could replicate.
Yeah. That's a good realization to have early on. There's some people who don't have that realization until they're 50. And it's like, shit, dude. Well, that's not good.
No, it's so cool. I think coding and art, like coding and like, not art, but like editing videos, because I used to like edit videos too. I think they are honestly very similar, like in the amount of like tediousness and like attention to detail. Like whenever I was doing either of those things, I was like, okay, I'm editing a video and then I have to code. Now I'm on my laptop for 16 hours.
Yeah, it's the worst. I'll film the video and I'm like, let's go. And then I'm like, oh, I gotta edit the video. Shit.
No, it's so fun. I think that's why for this project, Ray was like, I'm really happy to take on all the dev work because he enjoys it.
That's awesome.
I was like, you know what, this ends up being a perfect fit.
Yeah. I mean, you can't have one without the other. You can't just have the art and not know someone who can like do the behind the scenes stuff. And something about an AP art story. What's going on? What did you do? Did you light the art room on fire or something? What happened?
Actually, yeah. Actually,
Are you serious?
No, like,
that's the story.
Similar. I was like doing this photography like shoot. If like it's on my Instagram, it's like this ballerina and like she's like throwing flour everywhere. And so I was in high school and I like rented out like the high school studio or whatever. It was like really cool, like a small little room. That room had like 40 laptops in it that like the students used to do like Photoshop on. We were there over the weekend. We left the studio door open and we had like a fan pouring out like we had a fan blowing all the flour onto the girl who was modeling. And we just didn't check behind us because the whole room was dark and the back door was open. We turned on the lights. There's pink dust everywhere, like all over the floor of the entire classroom, over every single laptop, every single keyboard. It took me a week straight to clean up. And my teacher walks in, like we're trying to like frantically clean, but there's like no way, like all of it, like there's just no way. And he comes in and he starts like, I was like 17, I think. And he starts like cursing me out. He's like, how could you do this? I'd let you use it on the weekend. Like, we don't let people do this normally. And then, we're on like, we ended up being on good terms and he's great. He like,
now he's grinding for a whitelist now in the Discord. It's the guy saying GM in the morning. Wait, hold on. There's another story. What'd you do? There's a photography story?
My photography story. I don't remember.
There's probably a bunch. Photography is a fun profession to do. I've really enjoyed my photography journey. I remember I love doing photo shoots and like portraits because you get to you get to like capture them being lit, and then they
Yeah.
get to like see that after, and they're like, wait, I look like that? And you're like, yeah. And a lot of people have never had that. Like one thing I've noticed with TikTok that I'm sure you picked up, because we both consume TikTok, we both create a lot of content on TikTok, probably too much content. And there's I didn't realize how similar we all are. Like we really all do have that same DNA, and we all think the same shit when something happens, and we all think we're the only person who thinks it. And I've also noticed that a lot of people have not had some, what's it called, TDL or something, like tender loving care, ever. Like there's some people who are like, some girl will make a video like, oh, like I love you, sweetheart, like some like arbitrary thing to nobody, and like all the comments are like, why am I crying right now? And I'm like, oh god. Like there's some people who haven't had that. And with photography, I've taken photos of people and they looked at it after and they're like, whoa. And they get like emotional because they're like, I look like this. And they're like, yeah, like, you didn't edit that or Photoshop it. I'm like, no, that's what you look like. And they're shocked because they've never seen that version of them, I guess.
That's beautiful. I mean, it's like, I feel like that's the best part, showing it to the person who you're doing it for. I don't know. Yeah, that's very sweet. Also, like, I know you take self-portraits, Kate, as well.
Self-portraits, I love it. It's because I don't know. Like you get like your own style of something. Like similar with you, like it'd be really hard for you to let someone else take on the art for Fairy Fiends. You'd be like, oh man, that's not quite exactly what I was looking for. I was kind of hoping for this. So it's like that.
I think from photography, I learned that it's like a 16. Like sometimes we need 6 people helping us out for like one shoot.
Yeah.
That throughout that, I've like learned more to let things. Like I think I was called bossy when I was 6 years old, and ever since that, I was like, okay, you gotta let things go, Ravana. Like just let it ride.
I feel that.
Yeah.
With my self-portraits, I just have like an exact idea, and I can't convey the message unless I take the photo. So like maybe if I took the photo, then I could be like, okay, I just need you to recreate this and do it. But for me in my head, when I come up with the idea of what I want it to look like, it's got to be like exactly that. And I'll sit there for like 3 hours until I get the exact shot.
You're dedicated.
Yeah, I'm
good. It shows. Also, like your self-portraits, and I haven't seen your other photography, but I know from your self-portraits, like they have like you're telling your story, like and conveying that message. And I think that's the most important part of like any art.
Yeah, it's a self-expression. And Mixed Factor, what's your favorite fairy? Kid, I have not. They haven't minted yet, so I couldn't have one even if I tried. But I'm gonna try and get one. I'm still maintaining that one of them will have this. It'll be the one of one ultra rare one. But this is where the glasses are. Josh Crypto, I saw your comment. But do you have a favorite fairy, or is it the one that you've got for yourself?
Say it again?
Do you have your favorite fairy, or is it the one that you have for yourself?
I think I don't actually. I think the wolf one is like, it's not, none of them are one of ones, but like the wolf one is really cool to me because I really like cats. But I don't think I have a favorite one. I think I have been drawing them recently all kind of menacey. Like they're just like little menaces, and I don't know. I think that's something that I'm kind of like I'm kind of a menace to like the moderators and Ray like all day. So
that's so funny.
It's cool to see that. I don't know. I didn't realize I never really realized how much like my mood impacted the art until like other people brought it up to me, and I was like, oh, that makes sense. You know, that actually does make sense.
Yeah, 100%. And it's cool that for you to have a collection of your own and have each one of these be something that you came up with that came from yourself, because you literally are redrawing them. So like they are 100% coming from you. And to see that all these people are going to own them and that people want them, that's an interesting feeling for an artist. I know a lot of artists in the NFT space for the very first time ever are getting art noticed, because it's impossible to sell art in the contemporary art world. Like, how are you going to sell art, fam? You're going to put it on the street and someone's going to see it and just happen to have $50 on them cash, and they're going to give it to you, and like that's how you're going to sell it. Like the NFT world has created an entirely new market, and it's weird. You know, for me, it hasn't changed really the way I look at my art, even though some people own it and maybe have sold it for a certain amount of money. It's still the same to me in my head, but it is interesting to see people wanting my art, you know?
It would, when I was in like 5th grade, I would like draw a little cartoon or like little flower characters. I don't know, whatever. I draw like really dumb stuff. Like I think I drew like a few fairies too. Like when I was in 5th grade, and I would go to the first graders on the playground, and I'd be like, "Do you want this picture? It's $2." And like it's after school, so all their moms and like everyone's there, and they'd be like, "You know what? I really want. I'm gonna go ask my mom."
What the fuck? Entrepreneur right here. Oh my god.
So I would come home with like $20, like maybe like once a week for like a month. It was only for
Wow.
a month, and I'd come home with $20 every week. I'd be like, "This is mine, Mom." Like, you can't have any of it, blah blah blah. But I don't know. It was funny.
Wow. Well,
Yeah.
if you ever find one of those and you put that shit on foundation, 20 ETH floor minimum.
Oh my god.
That'd be cool though, because you get to do that. If you're a content creator and founder of a project and you have your own real project, you've seen those foundation sales from some artists who are, or from some creators who are real artists. There's some people who are diehard fans of those people. You can make astonishing sales I've seen on foundation. I don't know what it is about foundation, but everything on foundation is expensive.
Yeah, it is true. I have seen, like, even the photography, like, photography is expensive, but like all the photography there is like a lot more expensive.
A lot. Yeah, no, it is. No, it is 100%. Ray says we need the first ever fairy riv. Where's it at? That'd be crazy if you found one like in your desk of a first gen fairy fiends. That would be insane.
I doubt it. Maybe we'll see. We'll see if we can find anything from like when I was like 3, 5.
Yeah. You grew up in California, right?
Yeah.
You grew up in California, so you grew up in the same ish area that you're in right now.
Yeah.
Do you ever have you traveled the world yet? Are you going to?
I plan to. Hopefully, that would be really nice.
Fairy fiends in Europe, fairy fiends in Africa, fairy fiends in Asia. That'd be lit.
Awesome.
That'd be really cool. Yeah, because you're gonna have people. There's people all over the world in your Discord. Like, there are gonna be people. You do a meetup, and you're like, "Hey, I'm in Portugal," and people are like, "All right, let's go." You know.
I think that's the goal. I think that's definitely the goal. And like now, I know that wherever I go, I won't get lost. I will always have someone to hit up to be like, "Please help me." So
that's the best part about Discord. There's always someone awake, someone awake, and that's not a feeling I've had until NFTs. I've always, like before any of us had like any attention at all. That sounds super egotistical, but like before any of us had any attention, you check your phone. There's never a notification. Like there's never any notification. No one ever cares. But now we're in a world where like you put in a message, someone's responding to you, and that feels good. And it's easy to get addicted to that feeling. But it's great because there's always that communal aspect. So this is a question I'm going to ask you because I'm also going to ask Katie this, and you may know her, Brooklyn NFTs on TikTok.
Brooklyn,
she's so cool. I love her, and she's going to be an NFT NYC. Yeah, it's going to be so much fun. But I'm interviewing her on Sunday, and we're going to be talking about women in NFTs. So I want to ask you how you think how you think as a space we can get more inclusivity as far as females in the space, because I saw a couple other TikTokers, of course by dudes, and they were like, the concept of stop saying we need it for women NFTs, we need everyone NFTs, which like makes sense from a dude perspective because I understand that. But I also remember it during the Black Lives Matter riots that were happening a couple of years ago. I talked to my friend Sasha and we did a podcast together, and he was like, look, when you're Black and like no one's ever listening to you, we like had no choice but to go all out and like do this thing where we had so much extra attention that it seemed obnoxious, but now we're at a point where it's less obnoxious. It's just more like normalized, and like that's why they're doing like a Black Spider-Man and like Black different superhero, because they're like, we just want it to be normal. And so I think that's where it was, like, with women NFTs, like dudes are like, that's so annoying, we need more like just everyone NFTs. Like, well, they're doing that so like we can get fucking more women. There's like 1% people who are women NFTs. Like my YouTube is 3% girls, my TikTok is like 25 or something, 25%. And I'm like, how do we do that? How do we get a more inclusive environment and community and more people?
It's a fairly like serious topic, and like in my opinion. And I think at the end of the day, your actions speak louder than words. Like I think a hashtag is cool, but I think a physical like action, like for example, like Roboto's actually held a space today where they invited women projects to come up and speak, and I felt really safe in that space. Like it was hearing like female voices. I think in some places when and most of the time it's like really respectful, it's like really good, but I think a lot of times, and I think this happens in real life too, so it makes sense that it translates over to a place like this as well. That like people get talked over no matter who you are, like whatever, and I think the loudest voice always ends up like overpowering a lot. So I just think having those conversations, like making people feel like safe, and like I am just a big advocate for like you know, creating change, not just through like a tweet or a hashtag. And I think that's why we decided to like it could have been either me or Ray, like on the TikTok, to be honest. Like we both have a lot of fun like doing it. I know Ray likes filming them with me too.
Mhm.
And I think the reason why like I really, really, really wanted to do it was because I was like, okay, I'm work in tech, which is also predominantly men.
Yeah.
And I want to show like, and people into NFTs were primarily into like from tech as well. And I want to show like you don't have to be in tech to do all of these things and to learn all of these things. Like we can teach you. And like I think me showing up is like my way of like trying to support that cause and like always like willing to give up my like our platform, like Fairy Fiends platform, to support those causes. And I think that's a bigger action.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, there's different ways you can do it. And like Brooke talks about it. She's like, look, if you find a project and it's women led, they're like, talk with your fucking wallet sometimes. They're like, if you're buying a project and they're like, just go out of your way. It's like, if it's just one NFT here and there and you can support a woman, like, why not? And for me, I guess it was just by random luck. Like every single artist I've ever bought from like Solana is literally a girl. And I didn't even think about it until after. But it's true. Like if you can support a women led project or do something like that, you should, and it's fun. And you are leading that charge. I remember when Sydney Espo, Espo Visuals is her TikTok, right before she blew up. I didn't even think about it. I just like showed support. I knew she was gonna go viral. Like as soon as I saw her first video, we did a podcast. I was like, yeah, this girl's gonna blow up, and she did. And the amount of girls who were in the comments are like, you just like paved the fucking way. Like it's so easy now for me to go in and feel like I can have a voice in here. What do you think about for guys who are willing and want to, I don't know, push the message and help? What are some ways that the dudes can pitch in other than buying NFTs that are women led?
That's great, because as someone who's broke, like I have not bought many projects, like to be honest, like so, and I want to be able to support any way I can. And I think this really goes for everyone, but just giving the space to breathe and like be respectful. Like I understand, you know, some spaces are like very like, bro, like what's up, and like those are cool too. Not everyone feels comfortable in those. That's fine. Hold another space where that kind of conversation isn't as present. So like a woman, like, or someone, like if a woman's talking, like she doesn't feel like she's being laughed at or something like that. And I think to be honest, I really forget about the whole like, you know, that there's like a disparity. Are on TikTok, it's like 60% male, 30% female for me. And I think a lot more females do tend to comment on the videos than males, which is, I don't know. It's just like, that's just how they're more engaged with it, or there's a larger number of women engaged with it. But I think the most important thing is like, I forget that there's that disparity until I'm talking to someone specifically where I feel that disparity. So I know it sounds stupid, but like treating everyone with respect, and like it comes from like, this isn't something you can do overnight. Like you're not going to be able to like something like buying a woman-led project that you believe in is like something you can go out and do tomorrow. Mm-hmm. But I think changing your point of view, or if there's some sort of like even like a flicker of judgment or like underestimation, like changing that like from inside of you, and like having that respect, like that comes over, like whether it takes you a year, 2 years, if you ever hear that little voice in your head, like you shut it down, being like, this is still another person. Let me talk to her. Like she was my most like a friend that I respected the most. Like, let me pretend I'm talking to my guy best friend who is so well respected by me, and just squashing down and I think it stems from a respect thing. And it's something that needs to change internally, it doesn't happen overnight.
Yeah, 100%. I totally agree there. And I think for some people it's easier. Like for me, it's easy because I have a little sister. Some fucked up stuff has happened with her in her life, just in general. So like I've seen very intimately what that is and what that's, well, I mean, from what I can see, at least. So I understand that. And I also grew up in a school where I was surrounded by like hot girls everywhere who were like badass people too. And like they're killing it. They're all like more successful than me and like killing it. And so I was very used to that idea. All the best teachers were girls when I was growing up. And so that was just like, it was easier for me to just, I don't know, fucking just be normal, be respectful, and all that stuff. And then my mom's from Japan, and my dad, married a Japanese woman. Like, that's hard to do unless you're ultra respectful, because they're very traditional in
Yeah.
Japan. And so I grew up in that type of household. And then there's some people who don't have that. Maybe they grew up in a place where that's just not the case, totally opposite. And the only way really to bridge that gap is like, you literally have to get into more Twitter spaces with girls in them, and
Yeah.
like make it annoying to yourself, in the sense that like, you have to go out of your way to go
Yeah.
learn about that and put yourself in an uncomfortable ass position, and
Yeah.
then realize that that's how they feel most of the time. They're like,
Yeah.
I don't want to go into a women only Twitter space. You're like, what do you think it feels like for all the girls when they go into all Twitter space? Like, that's what it is. And people don't realize that. And my friend told me, they're like, you want to feel uncomfortable? Go to a gay club or a gay bar. They're like, and you like feel that energy of every guy like looking at you, kind of thing. And for me, when I was in my last Halloween or two Halloween school, I dressed up as Thor. So I had a big wig on, a girl wig.
Yeah.
Dude walked up, put his hands on my waist, thinking I was a girl from behind. And I have never in my life, my heart fucking stopped. And I was like, oh, and like turned around, whipped around. And I was with my friend Morgan. And I was like, and she looked at me, she was like, how'd that feel? And I was like, oh, Jesus Christ.
I can't,
So
like, it shows, like, also, like, you grew up in that household, like, you're always willing to learn those new experiences, and it just seems like you're so in tune and accepting, and like, I think the most important thing is like listening, like, and you're amazing that you have a podcast, and like making yourself uncomfortable is like, I think we talked about this last time, like, don't get comfortable, never be comfortable.
Agree. Yeah, and you got to. And also, Tati, I thought, do you know or NF Tati on TikTok?
Yeah.
I just did a TikTok live with her. I think you popped in for a second, actually, at some point in there. But we were talking about that, and she was saying the same thing. She was like, sometimes we want to empower women because we just want to hear from a woman. They're like, it's just not common in this space to hear it. So it's been dope. We've seen so many more new creators come out, and honestly, like, they're really good at their shit. And I think I just grew up with that. So it's just been common sense to me. I'm like, girls are fucking smart. Like, in my situation, girls were always smarter, and they always were better at everything. And so I just got used to that idea, I guess. But for anyone who doesn't think that, it's literally true. I mean, we're all just humans out here, and we all have a different perspective. And it sucks that like half the population is literally not part of this, and maybe they feel uncomfortable or too scared or something. And I know I've talked to some people in Discords who they'll remain anonymous because they don't want people to know that they're girls. And I'm just like, oh my God.
Okay, I did hear about that. Like, someone else was telling me that too. Somewhere someone was telling me that. I was so shocked. I was like, no way. Like,
yeah,
really? Like I can't believe, because like for us, like, we wanted to be dogs. So I was like, okay, like, I want to help other people feel inspired that they can do this. That comes with us being doxxed, like, that it's possible that we don't have 10 years of working experience, but we have really good work ethic, and we want to show our faces. That I was like, if you're a female, like, let's own up to it. Let's show everyone like what we can do. Like, for every single person that doubts it or like thinks, like, either people who are young or people who are women or like anything, person of color, like anything really, like, let's prove them wrong. Like,
exactly.
I don't know. That's why it was crazy when I heard that. I was like, no way. So it's like, it made me so motivated to succeed, or even like put my face out there even more, to be like, I want people to feel comfortable sharing their like gender or like whoever they are. Like, they don't need to hide behind like, they don't need to pretend to not be themselves. I don't know.
Yeah 100%. And also there's dudes who and I get it because I am a dude, so I understand where they're coming from when they say what I said earlier about, they're like, we just need more people in general. If that's your perspective, it may not, like, you have to think about that there's people in this world that you probably met, especially if you worked in like food and bev or something. There's some fucking assholes out there, like real assholes, where you're just like, oh my God, how are you? Is this real? Like, I've had movie moments in my life where I'm like, this is not happening in restaurants or wherever it is. And and perspective, and traveling, and putting yourself in uncomfortable positions is the way you gain that perspective. I always say self-esteem and perspective is not, you earn that. That's the only way to get it. You literally earn that by eating shit and like screwing up and messing up and doing something wrong. Maybe you say something and it
Yeah.
comes out totally wrong and you botch it up and you get fucking flamed for it, as you should. And then you're like, all right, I'm never doing that again. Like, that's not going to happen again because that's not what I meant. I shouldn't have said it that way. And you didn't even realize. And I think that's what people are upset maybe about cancel culture and people getting flamed for maybe misusing pronouns or this and that. But it's like, that's necessary right now in this transitional period, because we're trying to just get it to be normalized. We just want it to be normal and not have people feel uncomfortable for like something that's so just shouldn't be making you feel uncomfortable,
Yeah, I think someone commented, we have to respect all people no matter what their choices are in life. Like,
Yeah.
I think as long as you're learning and you're making, like, I think my friend told me this, like, if you're not looking back on yourself on a year or like any memory and cringing at something you said, cringing at how you acted, then you're not growing like as a person. And
that's very true.
Yeah. So just like keeping your ears open, growing every day, listening, like you surround yourself with people who inspire you to change, like you'll change.
100 fucking %. Jacqueline says, Rouse got me crying. Yeah, and I remember I actually had, that's a very good point to bring up. For me, I noticed this when I was traveling I was still traveling in my car. For those of you who don't know, I quit all my jobs like a year ago, almost a year ago exactly, to go travel in my car. I was living in a tiny little Prius, and I had done like a couple of months. And at that point, I had, I don't know how many, at least like, had to be at least like 20 podcasts in, and I had interviewed at least like 10 or 15 people. And I was in Boston. My friend Joe called me, and she was this girl that had fallen in love with in Hawaii, and she was from Boston. Anyways, and I was like, "Oh, are you here?" And she was like, "No." And she was like, "Oh, by the way, I was listening to your podcast. I had some notes." And she was like telling me stuff. And as I'm on the phone with her, I like zoned out for a second. I was like, "Oh my god, bro, I haven't had one single girl on my podcast." And I was like, "Wow, I suck. I really suck. I didn't even think about it." But
was this for podcast like a year ago? Like
this was a long time ago. This is like a long time ago. But I still haven't done enough. And I was just like, wow, like I didn't even think about it. But it's just like, what do you? They're like, I know a ton of girls.
I feel like I noticed that. Like, I feel like the reason why I also like reached out to you is because you reached out to us. But I remember like going on your content and like staying to also like engage and see it, because I saw so many of females that I was following, like when I was starting out, like because I naturally, like it was just like natural. It's like I gravitated to a few female creators early in the beginning, and I was like, okay, who are they watching? Like who are they learning from? Like everyone's learning from each other. And then I stumbled upon your page. And so, like, I don't know, I found you that way, like, so.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that was a change I made very intentionally, because I was like, I needed to do better. I'm in this new NFT space. I have this platform for the very first time in my life. I actually have people watching what I'm putting out. This is wild. Like, let's do this shit right from the ground up in all aspects. Let's not buy followers. Let's put out valuable content. Let's not make a bunch of annoying, shilly stuff. Let's get as many different styles of different types of people as we can on the channel, and just push people who are like innovating. Like the NFT space for me is like symbolizes opportunity and symbolizes risk takers, and that's something that I fuck with heavy. And I think a lot of people in the NFT space who are building fuck with heavy, because it's just like that's something that we don't really see that in such a intimate setting as we do in NFTs. And now like everyone's taking risks. If you're starting an NFT project, I don't care how much work you put in. That's a fat risk right there, and that is scary to do. And so like we all have like there's a level of respect that I have for everyone who's trying to build anything in the NFT space.
Same goes towards you, Cade. Like, say, like, like the utmost respect. Like, I'm telling you guys, like, Cade puts out like 5 TikTok videos a day. He puts out YouTube content like on the regular. Like you cannot look at his work and say that you aren't putting in like your all. Like it shows. I don't know.
Thanks. Yeah, I want to be here forever, and I want to get. Someone made I don't know whose podcast it was, but they said they're like, wouldn't it suck to get to the top and realize like you literally cheated your way there, or like you don't have any friends, or you didn't do it right. They're like, you think you're gonna get to the top and be happy? They're like, you will not. They're like, the amount of people who are rich and wealthy and everybody hates them, they're like, it is not worth it. It might be worth it for a couple months while you're like, oh, I won, But then that shit fades real quick. And I've gone through that phase where I do something and I feel like it's going to like fix that problem, that hole inside of me. And just like it literally never did. And connecting with people is the way that I do that. And so that's like my favorite thing to do, these podcasts.
Yeah. No, that's amazing. That's amazing to hear. Yeah, I don't know. I think, yeah, sorry, I'm like blanking, but we were like talking about change like before. And one thing that really changed in college was because I became friends with Ray in college. I was the laziest person ever. I mean, I was like, I don't like school. I don't want to study all the time. He was in like 5 of my classes.
Is that how you met in college, just randomly?
Yeah, we met in classes. Like we were in every single class together for.
So what, you lashed onto him because you were like, I need this kid? He's really smart.
Actually, little bit.
That's funny as fuck.
No, but yeah. He was the one who taught me work ethic. Like that. It was like, if you want something, like you work for it as like hard as you can go. And it was just something that I learned by being around him and like his friends for a little bit. Like just like whatever impact just from the 2 hours in class, like we became friends like afterward. But like that is where I got my work ethic that I have that's carried me through college and now. Wow.
That's hella inspirational to admit right here on a podcast too. He's probably sitting here acting giddy as fuck. He's like, oh shit. I have a similar story. That's funny as fuck. I was in nursing my first year of college. I was like, I'm going to be a nurse. And then I changed my mind a year later. Not even because it was hard. Like I was fine with the work ethic. I like working hard. It's just, if it needs to be something that I want to do. And after I, followed a couple nurses around, I said, oh God, this is not what I want to do. I don't think I could do this. And so I ended up dropping. But my first year there, I was in chemistry. Chemistry is easily my worst subject. I had PTSD from high school from chemistry. Worst class ever. I always died. And I remember my senior year, I walked out. I walked the fuck out. I got a C in chemistry, walked into senior year. I was like forced, I think, to take physics. I walked in and I was like, no, I literally cannot do this. They were like, because we're going to build off chemistry. And I was like, there's nothing to build on, fam. I'm starting at ground zero if that's what we're doing. So I walked out and convinced them to let me take PE4 instead. But I walked into chemistry class 101 in college for nursing. And I said, I am so fucked. And I met this girl right in front of me. Her name's Katrina. Shout out Katrina. She's going to be on the podcast soon. Straight up looks like a straight up Asian. And I said, hey, introduce myself. And she opened her mouth and my mouth dropped. She came the most country accent ever. She was like born in Aiken, South Carolina, which is like in the sticks. Yeah. And she was super funny. And I was like, okay, like I forget how I knew. She was like really smart. So we started like studying together. And then we became like best friends. And then she was like my study buddy. And she like formed my work ethic that year because I lost it in high school. Like my senior year killed my work ethic. Yeah. So that's actually really funny.
Okay, wow. That's really similar.
Shout out Katrina. Shout out Ray. You built us. You're the reason we exist.
You need those people. I swear, you need those people. Like funny. Whoever, like, I don't know. Everyone needs that person to 100%. To give them the push when they're about to be like, okay, I want to drop something or whatever. Yeah,
100%. It really does matter who's around you. Mm-hmm. And I think we all think that we could do it on our own, and you probably could do it alone. But it's like you're gonna get a lot more if you got people pushing you who are not scared to call you on your bullshit and say, no, we got to do this. Put in the work. That's good. That's really good to hear.
I think people need to get called out. Like no one's perfect. We all make mistakes. Like, I don't know. You need someone to hold you accountable. Like vice versa. Like
100%.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure with like the president, like the vice president keeps the president accountable, and like the other way around. It's like
I hope so.
I hope so too. But I'm pretty sure that's why there's 2 people and not one person. It's 100%. A team running.
100%. Yes, if you have any last questions about Fairy Fiends at all, or anything related to the NFT project, I feel like we covered a lot of it. If you have any specific questions that aren't just give me whitelist, then ask them in the chat too. But I was wondering if you have a irrational fear of anything, some random fear that you're scared of, or like just your deep, like, do you have a deep, dark fear? Are you like scared of death? Some people are terrified of dying. No, do you have anything like that?
Are you scared of death?
No, actually, death is a very weird subject to me. That's why I always ask it. Death, I get very weirdly comforted. Like I have, for people who watch my TikTok, I do those all black screens where I talk into it and I have like super sentimental music over it. But like shows like BoJack Horseman, have you seen that show?
Yeah. I've seen a few episodes.
Okay, well, at the end, spoiler alert, don't listen if you're gonna listen, if you're gonna watch it. I mean, everyone knows this. He dies at the end, sort of thing, is like sort of the story, kind of. He dies, and at the end, it's like an acceptance of death episode.
Yeah.
And it is the most, like, comforting feeling. So I have, like, a very comforting, because it's like one of those things that I always feel like I could do something else. I could always do more. And when you're dead, like, and you're about to die, it's like, dude, there's nothing left to do. It's over. Like, it's finished. We did everything. Hands off. It's over. You're about to fade off. And that gives me, like, a really weird, comforting feeling. And so I'm very curious to how people view death, but also just, like, your fear in general too.
Yeah. No, I was just curious to how you perceive it. I know everyone perceives it differently. Yeah, I mean, life is life. Like, you live your life as long as you are living, like you, and that's what matters, you know. And take care of the people around you. I think that's what matters.
Yeah.
Things I'm scared of. Ray said the ocean, but, like, I'm scared of drowning. I'm not scared of the ocean. I can't swim, like.
Oh, okay.
Also, the drowning part is what gets me, not the ocean itself. I like going in there. Just don't want to drown.
That's fine. So it's just drowning for you. That's interesting. Is that from, like, a movie you watched? Like, why is it specifically drowning?
Because I have drowned numerous times. Yeah.
Wait, well, hold on. What the fuck?
It's because, like, I think so. I was really scared of heights, and then I went skydiving, and then I wasn't scared of heights. And so I think, like, okay, if you do it, like, your fear will go away. You can't, like, teach yourself to swim in, like, a day.
I see.
So, like, I tried to swim. I was like, you know what? It's fine. Like, I can go out. I've just, like, literally almost, like, drowned so many times now.
Wow.
Like, I'm just like, I'm cutting it off. This is as far as I'm.
You're like, I'm not even risking it at this point.
Yeah.
You're like, hey, we had this really sick Airbnb, but the only problem is it doesn't have a shower, it only has a bath. And you're like, nope, someone cancel it. We're not doing that Airbnb. That's funny. Wow.
Oh my god.
Guardiel says, I'm a lifeguard, I'll save you. That's actually pretty crazy. I almost drowned once as a kid too. I was, like, literally drowning on the verge of death. And my dad, it was like a iconic hero moment for my dad. He's, like, reading the newspaper at the community pool. I'm, like, 4 years old, jumped into the 5-foot thing, I could swim, and I just started sinking, like, just sinking like a rock. I remember it was like, here's the water. Yeah, it's not funny, but I was like, it's kind of funny. So I'm, like, sitting there drowning, like, literally just going down. And, like, as my head's going under, I look at my dad, and I think I, like, chirped. I was like, right. And I just see him, like, move that newspaper. He just throws that shit to the side, like, dives in and, like, pulls me up. I'm like, bro, I would have been dead as fuck if he didn't see me. I would have been so dead. I was sinking like a rock. I didn't even know what to do. I was just like,
I'm glad he got you. I understand. I'm glad he got you. I understand what you mean. Everyone's like, hi, Turkey, and stand up. If you actually had those powers in real life, that would be awesome.
So funny. Yeah, no.
I would make, like, if I had those powers, if I was, like, ever in the water, I'd put my hand over, and then I'd make a bubble to form around me, so I could just, like, walk, like, underwater. That would be awesome.
That's fucking hilarious. Oh my god, bro. Oh my god, there's some people in here who've got some horror stories about. We got Bryce in the chat saying one of the giant buckets that falls over the entire water park at the water parks knocked me out when I was younger. Holy shit, Bryce.
It's awful.
Wow. Okay, so we got a bunch of people who are like, not water. Just we ain't the biggest fan of water, I guess. Damn. All right.
Also, the lifeguard thing. 3 of my friends were lifeguards, and they were completely unhelpful in saving me. I think only one of them who wasn't a lifeguard was like, "Oh my god, I know how to get her," but the actual lifeguards were like, "She'll be fine."
Oh my god, that is funny as fuck. Oh man, I'm trying to think of what my irrational fear is. So I'm scared of bugs and roaches, and it's because when I was in Japan, there's big bugs in Japan, big, like the size of your hand, and they're just normal. And so when I was a kid, one walked on my face when I was sleeping. Like, you sleep on the ground in Japan in my grandparents' old house. And I fucking woke up in the middle of the night, it's crawling on my face, like huge cockroach looking thing. And my cousin had one, and it's like a pet. And it's like, why would you ever do that? That's like, not, why would you ever do that? It was like a big cockroach, flying cockroach with pincers. It's like a horn beetle or something. And he has it inside a little terrarium, whatever you call it. And he just like pisses off, like lets it like crawl inside his shirt. And I'm just like, so like that's a fear for me. Bugs.
I see. It makes sense. But yeah, a lot of people don't like bugs.
Oh my god, Will says I've never saved anyone in 3 years of lifeguarding. Holy shit.
It's actually really funny.
That is kind of funny. Oh my god.
All the nice comments.
Yeah, this is wow. This is the most poppin' chat we've ever had. the Beetle art, Japan. I guess Japan's in the chat. They may be having their own whole thing in here. Josh says, literally facing your fears. That's funny as fuck. Well, listen, if you guys have any last questions about Fairy Fiends, we're gonna come to a close in a second here. But I guess one thing we could end on is, because I think this is helpful, since you actually haven't dropped the collection yet. So this is an interesting perspective, because most of the time I've asked this to founders who have been running the project for a little bit, and maybe I've done a review on them already. But you're about to enter that stage soon.
Yeah.
So what do you have advice for as far as maybe community building? Actually, this can be a loaded question. Like, what do you have advice for people who want to work in Web3? They're trying to get a job. And then what do you have advice for people who are like, I'm trying to do an NFT project, but I'm a little too scared maybe?
Okay. Yeah. I think patience, learning, understand that no one is like crazy qualified in this space. Like this space has only been around for like 1 year, and maybe like before that, but like you are not too underqualified, because you need skill sets from all over, all different areas, if you really want Web3 to become like a global and like reach everyone. There's a spot for every single skill set, and maybe the skill set isn't there yet. Okay, what do you have? Time is a value. Like your time is a value. So learning from someone, shadowing someone, figuring out what your strong suits are and going on them, and being, if you're starting by yourself, I think the two questions are very different. Working for someone, that's my advice. Like, learn, know your skill set, know that it's new, that you can make yourself applicable in like many, many different ways. For your own project, I think that's a very, very different question. And I think you understand, but a lot of it comes down to, patience. Like stay motivated. Don't get discouraged, even though I know it's so easy to get discouraged. So that's why I recommend, honestly, like, don't try to do everything yourself, like get one person to help you. Like, it doesn't need to be like 3 people or anything. Like 3 people would be awesome, but like get at least one person to help you out. And I think that will go a long way.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think my advice is don't FOMO. I know it's like weird advice, but like don't be scared that you're gonna miss out on things. Ray says 1 person at a time. Oh, that's a really good one.
Ooh.
Like impacting one, when you're starting out a project, when you're starting out anything, like it is 1 person at a time.
Yeah, that's great advice for anyone listening. Hear that, and also, but I'll just add on to that. This is a funny story about my high school, because I'm in the same way. I took those high school classes, or not high school tests that they made you take to figure out your skills that you were good at, and mine were always like, I'm good at talking to people, and I'm like nice, and I was like, fuck.
Those are amazing skills.
It's amazing now, but back in high school, I said, damn, all that popped up was clerk, personal training clerk, and it was like front desk manager, cashier, and I was like, fuck me, I'm so screwed. And I was like, well, I better learn something impressive. And so I took a coding class. I tried to do nursing. I tried to get myself skills, and in doing those, I just built my other skills, which were my soft skills, which were just talking to people. And then when I found out that like podcasting is a thing that you can make money on it if you're big enough, and then I found out there's podcasters who are killing it now, and to hear their story, they're like, yeah, I started 12 years ago. No one thought it was cool back then. And 10 years later, look where I'm at. And I said, well, I could do that. Like, I want to do this anyway. So it's fun. And so it's helped me out. And also just like being confident in those skills, knowing, like, in my head, I knew in my gut that those skills would help me. I was like, there's no way, because I'm like, I'm good at this. Like, there's no way this won't help me in life somehow. And now people are starting to pick up on that more because we're talking about it. Back then in high school, there wasn't like TikTok where people were being empathetic online. Everyone was just trying to be cool on Instagram and flexing. And it's a different world now. And you really can do whatever the fuck you want. It's 2021 or 2022. We're at the beginning. You're right. We've only been doing this for a year. Like a max, unless you bought a CryptoPunk in 2017, you're a weirdo. But like everyone got started in 2021, 2022. So you're not late. You're not late.
And also, like, even if you think you are, even if it's in 4 years, like, I feel like people skills, like, that is one of those skills, like, you can teach yourself over time. Those skills don't come through a 3-month, like, boot camp. Like, they don't come through a college degree. They come with, like, what Bryce was saying, and I really like this, like, creating genuine connections with other people and being vulnerable, like, showing who you are. Like, yeah, like, that takes time. That takes what you said, like, building up, being comfortable with yourself, and it'll come sooner or later,
Yeah, Hell yeah. Shit. Well, that's a pretty fucking good way to end the conversation there. We just covered like 100,000 different bases. That was like the most productive podcast. That was fun as fuck. I love talking to you. I feel like we could go for like 5 hours.
Probably.
And shout out to Ray in the chat for like literally being a Discord manager on the YouTube chat here. And Bryce, shout out to you guys, and Will. Thank you guys for being in here and killing the chat. That was wild. There was so much interaction here. Super fun. Well, hopefully we'll get Ray in some of those videos. Well, maybe we'll have him pop into a couple of the skits. Hell yeah, that's gonna be awesome.
Jeff and Josh are moderators, are also in
Hell
here.
Yeah.
And I think Jem was in here in the beginning, but thank you for coming out.
Appreciate everyone in here. Devin's in the chat. Let's go. All my Joyage people are in here. Fuck yeah. Okay, so if you're in here and shit, if you're in here and this is not your first podcast you've listened to me say, comment for the code word OG. And then if this is your first time or you're coming from the fairy community, type in all caps fairy. Let's get fairies in the chat. Let's get a bunch of those in here to let us know that you made it to the end. Thank you so much for being here. Smash the like button for us. Smash the like button so hard that you don't even know what to do. Smash it. Subscribe to the channel. Join the kingdom. Follow her on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter. The LinkedIn or the link tree is in the description below. And yeah, thank you so much for being here. Thanks you, Riff, and thank the whole fairy community.
Hey, thank you, Kate, for having me. And I'm so glad so many people came out. I'm always watching. You know, like
Just
we're
watching.
always here. We're always here.
We're fucking watching. We are watching.
Oh my
God. Sweet. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for being here. We're going to peace out until next time. Continue on your Joyage. Follow her on TikTok because it's funny. Follow her. Continue your Joyage. Continue to learn. Be grateful you're alive. Watch this video. Wait, where's my graphic? 3, 2, 1.